Yo, what's up? What's up? You're hanging with the Niners Nut on this really glum looking Wednesday. On the East Coast, at least, it's raining. It's just like an absolute shitty day outside. But whatever, man. Mother Nature's going to do what Mother Nature's going to do. So, getting into this past weekend's victory over the Miami Dolphins. First of all, I just want to say what a huge win this was this Sunday over the Miami Dolphins. Teacher versus student. All right? Shanny versus McDaniel. What happens? Darth Vader, who's Shanny, kicks fucking ass. That's how we do things, baby. As much as I like Mike McDaniel, you just got your ass handed to you, son. Take your medicine. Your team's good, but you ain't that good, all right? So, huge win for the San Francisco 49ers. Huge win for Coach Shanny. Huge win for D'Amico Ryans. Huge win for everybody on the team. Thank you guys for joining the live feed. Really appreciate you. Lot 42, Craig 33, probably the best name I've seen all fucking day long. I know you keep it real with that fucking name. You got my favorite number, my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite players, and Ronnie Lott, probably the best, greatest safety of all time. So, going into this game Sunday, I don't know about y'all, but it's funny. Friday night, I had told a good buddy of mine that I expected us to whip their ass 38-17. I got pretty close. It was 33-17. So, feel good about that. Coming into this game, obviously, we knew what an important matchup this was going to be. The Dolphins having the season that they're having in a very competitive AFC East with the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, and the Mac Jones ugliness of the New England Patriots. Got to give your hat off to the Dolphins, man, for the most part. You know, Tua Tagovailoa is having a real monster of a season. They have a really good dual running back system. 2x49ers, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., Mike Gesicki, a good tight end who's not being utilized a lot. The great Tyreek Hill, Waddell, Trent Sherfield, ex-49er who opened this game with a 75-yard touchdown scatter. That did not leave the defense or team scared whatsoever. So this is a talented Miami Dolphins team who's played pretty solid all season long. That being said, from that 75-yard touchdown pass to Trent Sherfield from Tagovailoa, they didn't do shit in this game. Okay? I don't know who was... There were experts, so-called experts, who were trying to compare these two defenses. No, you can't compare these two defenses. I don't give a shit that you got Wilkins, who's a really good defensive tackle. You know, I don't care that you got Bradley Chubb. I don't care that you got Zavarian Howard, who's a phenomenal corner. 49er defense is much better than the Dolphin defense times 10. All right? And they showed why this Sunday, once again, coming off a 13-0 shut out of the New Orleans Saints the week before, where they held tight at the goal line. That being said, did the Dolphins do some damage? Not really. Tyreek Hill's going to do what Tyreek Hill's going to do. Much similar to Cooper Kupp, much similar to Justin Jefferson, much similar to Stephon Diggs. They're going to do what they're going to do. But okay, so what? Okay? We shut down, once again, when we shut down offenses running games, we win. We held them to nothing. Nothing on the field. Raheem Mostert, as much as I like and respect you, check yourself, son, because you got held to ugats, as we say in Italian. Ugats. And I like Raheem Mostert a lot. I'm happy he was able to try and clear up those tweets that he had put out earlier. Although, personally, where I come from, I don't think you should say anything. My father, what does my father always say? Don't talk, just do. Don't talk no shit, especially when your ex-team has been good to you, man. That being said, how'd that work out? We whipped their ass. Did the AFC East, every other team in the AFC East, a big favor. So it was a really interesting game for the most part. I thought that, let's talk obvious. Jimmy G going down was shocking, man. Definitely. But Brock Purdy to the rescue. Let me just say this. Whoever these so-called experts are who were talking shit about him, was it Mel Kiper Jr. during the draft calling him Mr. Irrelevant? You could suck a dick. Okay? Suck a dick. Mr. Irrelevant, my fucking ass. And you could say all you want, well, he had a great defense, which is true. He has the best defense playing for him. He's in a good system, which is true. He has a great head coach, which is true. He's got a lot of offense around him, which is true. But still, individually, the kid, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the 2022 draft, came off the fucking bench and did damage. Did fucking damage. Did so much damage that he shocked the shit out of me. I missed his first touchdown pass to Juice because I was taking a piss. Sorry to be graphic for the little kiddies out there and the ladies. I was in the bathroom. When I looked at my phone to check, I was shocked. And then I ran back downstairs into my man cave, and I loved what I saw from this kid. I loved what I saw from this kid. He played within himself. He didn't try and do too much. He did exactly what he had to. Some want to say he managed the game. Suck a dick. Suck a dick and stop trying to minimize this kid's talent. This kid had talent coming out of the draft. A lot of people who knew a lot of shit about him coming out of college knew he was going to be really good. And I don't know about you guys. In the preseason, I like what I saw from him. Limited time. In the mop-up time, we didn't get to see too much of him. But I don't know what you want from this kid. He did a great job. By, individually, he did a phenomenal job. So all these so-called experts that talk shit, these so-called experts that picked Mark Sanchez to be a stud, these so-called experts that picked Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, and what's his name? Over fucking Josh Allen could suck a dick. These so-called experts that had Zach Wilson as a stud can suck a dick. Okay? Because a lot of these so-called experts didn't have Brock Purdy. These so-called experts who wanted us to sign Baker fucking Mayfield infuriate the motherfucking shit out of me. Why would we sign Baker Mayfield? I'll get to that in a bit. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Okay? I'm still trying to figure that one out. My blood pressure is rising only because I'm passionate. That's why. I was a Purdy fan from the start. Been seeing the kid from day one. I hope he has a ton of success with us. It's the undersized thing, but he's a gritty baller. I feel you, pie in the head, but you know what? How many have been undersized? How many have been undersized? Jeff Garcia was 6 feet tall. Go tell me how Jeff Garcia stood out. Drew Brees, how tall was he? Doug Flutie. How'd that turn out? Pretty good. Anyway. Get back to this game on Sunday. Brandon Ayuk, again, dominating. Debo, getting better as the season goes along. GK, doing what he does best, block and catch when he needs to. Juice, getting involved in the receiving game some more. McCaffrey, the double-edged sword that we needed. That offensive line, kicking fucking ass. And no expert is talking about them. Stephen A. Smith ain't talking about them. I don't see him as that ugly fucking prick who talks shit about everybody, got a big-ass mouth. He ain't mentioning nothing. He was a Jimmy G hater. Right? I don't see... What now? Oh, I see so many so-called experts talking about their defense. Where were you all season long, fucks? Where were you all season long about D'Amico Ryans? You had your tongue in your head so far up other people's ass it wasn't even funny. It's amazing how things turn out. No, I never saw a rookie quarterback embraced by teammates. That's great to see. Great to see. All these so-called experts piss me off. Okay? Because they don't know shit. That's why. Because no one's got a magic ball that tells you things. These are the same people that said Sam Darnell be a stud. How's that working out for you? Just a little side note. I read something yesterday that Baker Mayfield knew the situation coming into Carolina, knew that Walker was ahead of him. How the fuck, if you're that good, a first-round pick, and I'm not dissing Walker, is Walker, who played in the XFL, crossed over into the NFL. How's he better than you? I'm not saying that's not possible, but what does that say about you as a first-round pick, bro? Listen. Well, I digress. Let me go back to the game Sunday. I apologize. Fred Warner playing his balls off. Dre Greenlaw. What else can you say about him? He's ass-whipping people. The best defensive player in football. Who was it? Samuel Acho, who was trying to do this comparison between him and Bosa and Micah Parsons. Listen, I like Micah Parsons, talented guy without a doubt, but come on, Nick Bosa caves in offensive lines. Go back, I want to compare how many times does Micah Parsons get strangled, held, and raped by offensive linemen as compared to Nick Bosa and not get a call. I'm going to keep saying that shit all season long because that's all I keep fucking seeing. Hands to the face, up all in his choking him, this, that. Even the roughing the passer call was bullshit on Sunday. Would have had 4 sacks. All right? Guy's a stud, dude. Best defensive player in football, bar none. Gonna probably finish close with 20 sacks. Okay, who else was impressive Sunday? That defensive backfield, Lenore, again, coming up big. Jimmy Ward, again. Anybody who thinks that Jimmy Ward should walk in free agency doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. You're bringing my Italian out in me with my hand motions. Jimmy Ward is the most underrated defensive backfield player in the NFL. Okay? He may not have the stud numbers that other safeties have, but he is such an integral part of that defensive backfield and has been. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's a quarterback back there. He's like a Jedi for the young Padawan defensive backs back there who are learning so much from him. You can see it. He's a general back there. He's a general. This defensive backfield has played, hands down, the best football I've seen all season long. Even without Mosley, unfortunately. They are doing damage. You didn't hear Jalen Waddle's name Sunday. Mike Gesicki hasn't been a fucking factor all year long. Okay? That defense stuffs running backs. Myles Gaskin, Raheem Mostert, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Big nothing. And much respect and love to Jeff Wilson Jr., one of my favorite players, man. Still hurts me that we got rid of him. They didn't do shit. We snuffed Kamara. We snuffed all the running backs in Miami. The Rams ain't got no running backs. Snuffed them too. You name it. You name it. You ain't running the ball on us. Hassan Ridgeway has stepped up and played phenomenal football. Under the radar, underrated run plugger and stuffer. What a great signing that was. Kerry Hyder Jr. may not be getting the sacks that he got 2 years ago, but he's been an integral part. Kevin Given stepping in there. I can't say enough about these guys. These guys are playing their tail off. And I'll say this. 2 guys who do not get the recognition by a lot of the so-called experts is Wishnowsky and Robbie Gould. Okay? Wishnowsky is a general and so smart at pinning offenses back. Gould is one of those kickers that is just one of those rare gems who's so cerebral, so on target. He's such a viable weapon, you know. In this era we live in, where we don't talk about kickers or punters. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It reminds me of fucking baseball and basketball and the stupid narratives where in basketball you got to score 150 fucking points and not play a stretch of defense, Mike D'Antoni bullshit, or shoot 10,000 3-pointers and not have a big man. Or in baseball, I'm a New York Yankee nut. Hit 60 fucking thousand home runs and score maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 runs per game, but you don't play small ball, you don't steal bases, you don't bunt, you don't hit. No. This team utilizes each and every position. Gould, Wishnowsky, so valuable. These stupid narratives that we have throughout sports are absolutely fucking useless because at the end of the day, you cannot change what is. It's like the fullback position. My father and I were watching the other night. I think we were watching, was it Monday? No, we weren't watching Monday night. I think it was Sunday night. And we were talking fullbacks, and he said it's a shame that fullbacks have become such a forgotten position. It is. It's a shame when we have the best fullback in football. Because back in the day, like you all know, you needed a fullback. This franchise has dominated when it comes to fullback. Floyd, bar none, the greatest fullback of all time. Tom motherfucking Woody Rathman, Maura Norris, Juice, and so on. Fred McCrary, and so on and so on and so forth. Okay? You know, I don't know. It makes me sick, man. It makes me sick. Such bullshit. Exactly. Thank you. Pindahead, you the man. Fuck the narrative, dude. Fuck the narrative. I don't care. Oh, he only kicks. You know, they got to. I'll take the field goal all goddamn. I'll take a 12, 15, 18, 21 point lead off all field goals with Wishnowsky pinning people back in the defense saying, you ain't crossing midfield, dude. I don't give a shit. I don't care how boring it is. To what you consider boring. Defense wins games. Special teams win games. Punters and kickers win games. You can't change that shit. Ain't happening. But again, a gem of a game. A gem of a game by Shanny. Called by Ryans. I mean, nothing else you could say about this. Outcoached McDaniel big time. And should outcoach McDaniel. He's the fucking master Jedi. And I hope McDaniel goes on to do some good stuff in the future, which I'm sure he will, because he had the pedigree, you know. He learned under a couple of the best, and probably the greatest, one of the best systems there are. So yeah, man, he should do damage. Let's talk some stats from Sunday, shall we? Tagliova, 18 to 33, 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, sacked 3 times. Listen, he's a talented guy, but some of those throws, I don't know. He looked like James Brown when James Brown used to do that one-legged dance and come all the way. He was on one leg, throwing, overthrowing, underthrowing. He looked flustered as a motherfucker. I think it's Dan Orlovsky who was going back and forth with 2 gentlemen about, you know, he was defending Tagliova. Listen, Orlovsky, no offense, use your fucking eyes and watch the game like all of us watched the game. That wasn't Tagliava's best game, son. You done got stumped by that defense. Who the fuck you kidding, dude? I'm so sick of these motherfuckers who have these shows and fucking just bullshit, and aren't watching what your eyes and ears are telling you. Goddamn, that pisses me off. Mostert, 30 yards. Wilson Jr., 3 yards. Move on. Fuck out of here. You didn't run shit. Okay, Tyreek Hill, 9 catches, 146, and 1 touchdown. He's one of the best receivers of all time. Probably one of the most fastest human. He's going to get his due. Sherfield, other than the 75-yard scamper. River Craycraft, ex-49er. Happy to see him doing well. Nobody else. Alec Ingold, another underrated good fullback. 3 catches. They didn't do shit. They weren't in their element. Jalen Waddell, 1 catch, 9 yards. That's the stat that I care about the most. On defense, Christian Wilkins, very good defensive player. 12 tackles. Jerome Baker had a half a sack. Sila had a half a sack. Van Ginkel, another very talented player, half a sack. Chubb had a sack. Phillips had 0.5 half, and Melvin Ingram. So we gave up 4 sacks. Other than the Kansas City game, it's probably one of the games where we've given up a lot of sacks. But consider the defense. They're not a bad defense. Zavarian Howard is probably one of the best cover corners in football. Had a pick. Wasn't a great pass by Purdy, but that's to be expected. Other than that, what did they do? They didn't do shit. They didn't do shit. That high-powered offense looked like shit. High-powered offense. Are you kidding me? Fucking Seven Dwarfs have more of a high-powered offense than they did, with fucking Doc and Dopey in the backfield. Anyway, Brock Purdy, 25 of 37, 210 yards, 5.7 yards per average. I love it. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, threw 1 bad pass. Those numbers, phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's all you had to do. You don't have to go throw for 300 yards. McCaffrey, 17 carries, 66 yards. Jordan Mason, all eyes on Jordan Mason. This kid's got an engine. 8 carries, 51 yards. Man, if he gets going, if he gets loose, you ain't catching him. You ain't catching him. I like this kid. McCaffrey, 8 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Debo, 6 catches, 58 yards. Ayuk, 5 for 46. Jennings, 2 for 34. Kittle, 2 for 22. Tyler Kroft, listen, you say what you want, man, and I said it too. Tyler Kroft has come up huge as the third tight end, as a blocker, and when he comes out as a receiver, I know he hasn't caught a lot of passes, but it was a clutch catch. Juice, 3 catches, 12 yards. Happy to see him be utilized more in the passing game as the season's gone on. Hopefully, we'll continue to see this. In Purdy, we trust. You know it. You know it. Dre Greenlaw, 8 tackles. Jimmy Ward, 5 tackles. Bosa, 3 sacks. Come on, man. Warner a pick, Lenore a pick, and Jimmy Ward a pick. Warner is getting so much better at dropping into back into pass coverage. I mean, he's become the full package. It's not even funny how good he is. Another stat overlooked by the so-called experts. Ray McLeod. 2 kick returns for 50 yards, averaging 25 yards per kick return. Again, in an era when the narrative is, because of the stupid rules, we don't return kicks and punts no more. Bullshit. So valuable. Returning punts, 2 punt returns, 34 yards, averaging 17 yards. Robbie Gould, 4 for 4. Mitch Wishnowsky, 4 punts, 178 yards, averaging 44.5, and 2 kicks inside the 20. What else do you fucking need? Let's talk team stats. First downs, our 24 to their 14. Third down efficiency, they were 0 for 7. What does that say about our defense? We were 8 for 19. Total plays, our 79 to their 45. Total yards, our 351 to their 308. Okay? They were averaging 6.8 yards per play. We were averaging 4.4, and we still whipped their ass. Rushing. Biggest, most important stat, they had 33 yards on the ground. You didn't get shit. Red zone, they were 0 for 1. What does that tell you? They couldn't get inside the red zone. Defense, we were 2 for 5. 4 of their turnovers to our 1 possession. We held the ball for 40 minutes. They held the ball for 19. I'll take it all day long. All day long, I'll take these stats. All day fucking long, man. Penalties. They had 8 for 68. We had 4 for 36. Again, another game where we've been low with the penalties. Obviously, we know that when you do the basics, like basketball, and you don't turn the ball over and you make your foul shots, which has become like, caveman type shit, because free points aren't important. You win. You don't just win, you whip ass like we did. Now, let's talk Jimmy G's injury. Good news is that no surgery needed. He could be back in 7 to 8 weeks, which, let's see, we got 5 weeks left of the season. The way things are going, if we can get a bye, that would be a 6th week, and then into our first game of the playoffs would be the 7th week, and then the 8th week the week after. So we could be looking at him getting back. I always give these guys the benefit of the doubt, especially Jimmy G, who seems to be somewhat resilient. And seems to have balls and want to get out there and play. But I'm not worried with this. I'm not worried. Let's talk, even if Jimmy G was done for the season, as bad as it is, as much as I don't want to see him go down, as wonderful of a season that he's had, in Purdy we trust. And I'm going to say this again. I had... Yeah, dude, he looked great, Grissar. He looked great. I'm going to say this again. I had this on a post yesterday. I got to tell you, man, I'm really disappointed, and I'm not calling anybody out. But there were a couple of 49er pages that had Baker Mayfield in a 49ers uniform. What the fuck are you talking about? Why? All my boys were sending me Baker Mayfield asking, yo, do you think you guys sign him? Hells no, we don't sign Baker Mayfield. We don't need Baker Mayfield. Okay, listen, I'm not trying to call out Baker Mayfield or diss the guy. He's talented, but has he really been what he lived up to? No, he hasn't. You know? People are like, oh, for the experience. What experience? He went to the playoffs once. What did he do? I'll ride with the kid. Ride with the homegrown kid. Why not? I also had in that post that if you do your homework, which I'm sure all of you do, which I'm sure so much you are knowledgeable, this organization has made I don't want to say a living, but has brought along quarterbacks so wonderfully, and I listed so many. Now, a lot of these guys, okay, they may not go down as the ultimate stud, but they served and did really good for us at the time. And I mentioned some ones that maybe, some people may not be familiar with. Jeff Brom. For those of you that don't remember Jeff Brom was a no-name who came up really big in the game. I believe it was against the Tennessee Titans a couple of years ago. It could have been the Houston Oilers or the Houston, whatever the fuck it was, before they were before the Houston Texans were even in existence. Jeff Brom was a third stringer who came up huge. Jeff Garcia, one of the all-time 49er greats, was never drafted out of San Jose State. You know about his career in the CFL. You know, we signed him during the dark days, and look how damn good that turned out. Cap. Cap was drafted. Look how good Cap did for us when he came in. Who else? Yeah, you get your guys who didn't do too good. The Jim Drunken Millers, who was a bust. Ken Dorsey at Miami had a really good career, and again, the so-called experts had him being the next big thing. Ken Dorsey didn't do bad for us. Ken Dorsey has turned into a very good offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. A very cerebral guy, much like Kevin O'Connell, okay? And so many other guys, much like Frank Reich. Doug Peterson. Guys who were quarterbacks in the NFL may not have had the most wonderful of quarterback careers in terms of playing, but were very cerebral. They remind me of like Derek Fisher in basketball. Although I consider Derek Fisher to be one of the most underrated point guards in all of the NBA. But the cerebral there, the understanding of the game, the understanding of the position. These are guys that the 49ers have. But Steve Bono, Elvis Gerbach. Go look at the careers these guys turned out. Bono and Gerbach went on to be starters, both with the Kansas City Chiefs. Then Gerbach went to the Baltimore Ravens. This is all after they had filled in admirably as quarterbacks. So why wouldn't we go with Brock Purdy? Why would we even feel the need to sign a Baker Mayfield? We got Josh Johnson. I'm going to say this about Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson is an exceptionally talented quarterback. Last season, he had a monster game for the New York Jets against the Baltimore Ravens. Guy did pretty damn good. He knows the system. He's a scrambling quarterback who's got a pretty good arm, who's a veteran. There's your veteran experience right there. Okay? But you ride with this kid. And I'm going to say this for the most part. I don't talk shit. I'm objective. When this season ends and Purdy has had a phenomenal run, once again, we're going to question the Trey Lance move, because that would be two reasons why we didn't have to draft him: Jimmy G and Brock Purdy. I rest my case, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. Anyone who thinks we needed Baker Mayfield, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to say it just like that. He went to the Rams. Okay? Good. The Rams suck. Mayfield is he a mediocre quarterback? I don't know. Sam Darnold's a mediocre quarterback. Mark Sanchez is a below mediocre quarterback. Was a below mediocre quarterback. I don't know what Baker Mayfield is, but he's not a first round player. Josh Rosen's a bust. Okay? Sam Darnold is a like I said, mediocre. They're no Lamar Jackson, and they're no Josh Allen. Exactly. Purdy knows this team and the system, Baker doesn't. Why on God's green earth would he ever make that stupid mistake to sign him? Coming up this week is the matchup with Brady. I'm not worried about this Tampa Bay team, although I think that, they're going to play their asses off as the season goes on, and they know there's a good chance they may not get in. That's okay. But this isn't the same Tampa Bay team as we saw 2 years ago. They're depleted big time. And they don't have a good head coach. Let's face it. Todd Bowles is just a glorified good defensive coordinator. All right? That's it. Got a lot of guys, Julio Jones isn't what he was. Godwin's good. Evans is great, but this isn't that good of a team. We should really beat them. I really want to see another solid week out of Brock Purdy. I want to see if the so-called experts start talking shit once we beat Tampa Bay and he beats Tom Brady. Exactly. Well, I don't know. I can't even get into I can't believe certain people wanted him. It doesn't even make any goddamn sense. But another good matchup coming this week. Another good opponent. Once we beat them, this is good for Purdy to get some experience under his belt. What I do wish, just to have, in case of injury, God forbid, I wish we had a veteran, though. I mean, Josh Johnson's a veteran. But this is where guys like, and I'm not saying these are the guys that should fit the 49ers position, but a Joe Flacco comes in handy. An underrated Andy Dalton who's playing great. A Trevor Simon comes in handy. Another underrated quarterback, a Case Keenum, comes in handy. But listen, this is another week. We get Armstead for another week again. Hopefully the injuries are minimized. And we go out and whip Tampa Bay. With Brock Purdy. In Purdy we trust. This kid gives us another option at quarterback. Imagine when the season ends and you've got Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy all together. It's a pretty nice thing to have. I'm not saying it directly like this, but it does remind me of Montana, Young, and Bono. By the way, Montana was drafted in the 3rd round. How'd that turn out? He's the GOAT. So this organization has made made it their thing to bring along quarterbacks, man. And again, yeah, you do get your hits and misses. Drunken Miller, Giovanni Carmazzi, Tim Rattay. Tim Rattay was never supposed to be great as well. What about I'm missing? What the hell was his name? Sean something. It'll come to me. He went on to play with the Detroit Lions then, and the And I think he went on to play with somebody else. While I'm looking, let me see his. Let me see if I can find his name. It should have come to me as I search for this. When it pops up, you're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about, or you may not. So if you don't, now you know. Let's see, Sean Hill. Remember Sean Hill? Sean Hill had a listen, man. Sean Hill was pretty solid for what he could deliver. You know, uh, had a 10-6 overall record as a starter. You know, so again, this team does a damn good job with quarterbacks. Alex Smith. Um, so why wouldn't we ride with these guys? You know, again, I don't understand anyone who's saying not to. It doesn't make any sense to me. People prove their lack of depth in football, love and knowledge. What they call Brody when they call Brady go. Blind ahead, you're 1,000,000% right. I've had this argument with people so many times. Montana's the GOAT. And it ain't just because I'm a 49er nut. It's because Montana played at the time of gladiators. I'm not taking anything away from Brady. He partially played at that, but let's face it, they also changed the no-tuck rule because of Brady. Now, I'm not negating anything that Brady has done because he's one of the greats, of course. Question always is, could Brady have survived in the same era as Joe Montana when guys like Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, Chris Dolman, God, all these other great defensive players could tear your fucking lungs out? You know, who knows? Who knows? I agree. I liked it better back then, too. But, yeah, man, I don't know, anyone talking about Baker Mayfield for the 49ers? No. You know, you got a better shot at, Donald Duck having a 9-inch dick or something like that. I don't know. That was a weird analogy, wasn't it? So I'm happy to see him go to the Rams. Happy to see them be going down the Johnny Flusher. They suck. And again, like the only other team that's really playing competitive, Seattle, but we got their number. They're not in our league. Listen, I said this the other night. I'm not worried about anybody in the NFC. Eagles aren't as good as they say. They're going to fall back down. The Cowboys, we all know, are cotton candy. Okay? My eyes are on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's who my eyes are on right now. That's what I'm concerned about. I know you shouldn't overlook anything, but that's who I'd be concerned about. But everybody else knows they should be concerned about San Francisco because it's the most dangerous team in football because we can beat you 1,000 different ways. With Brock Purdy, we can still beat people 1,000 different ways. So I really love and respect all you guys for being part of the page, being part of the live feed. Please feel free to always send me questions, comments, whatever. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel for other good content. And should be coming back at you guys again this week with everything, all things red and gold and 49ers and Niner Nut. So, once again, in Purdy we trust. Peace. Niner Nuts out.